Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have decided to do something a little bit different today. I'm kind of live streaming it, except I'm not actually live streaming it because I am, I'm at home. So I'm going to be putting this video out shortly after the conclusion of the game. Now, we are at London Regionals, the regionals I didn't go to because I'm not particularly well, I'm afraid, but I am well enough to sit at home and talk, if not drive down to London. We are in round 7, the final round, and on the right we have Nathan McClúey, who looks like he's playing Night March. On the left we've got Toby Woolner, who I can only assume is playing Fighting Bats. He started off with a Zubat, and he's got another Zubat down. Now, weirdly, he's played his Focus Sash and then played a Birch. He played a level ball to get the second Zubat. Now, when he gets ahead, so he's getting 7 cards from the Birch. Now, if he was playing a Sycamore, I can completely understand putting the Focus Sash down. But he doesn't need to. That's a Focus Sash he's going to need. Night March really gets going from one-hit KOs. So, I mean, yes, it has one less card in his deck that he's not going to draw from the Birch, but when your deck's that big, it's not much of a concern. Maybe he's thinking, I'm not going to be using Lucario, I'm not going to be using Hawlucha, because Hawlucha can't KO any of the Night Marchers, and Lugia gives up 2 prizes. So I can see maybe he puts it down for that, but you still really want the a muscle band on your bats, because a Crobat and then, a Golbat for 20, the ability, and then a Crobat attack for 30 with a muscle band will KO Pumpkaboo, and indeed a Zubat with a muscle band can KO a Joltik. So I don't like the Focus Sash going down. If you have to get it out your deck, I don't know, put on a Shaman or something. I suppose put it down to draw more cards with a Shaman, but I'm not a fan, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Nathan is playing Night March. He's got the Joltik going at the beginning. He's managed to play an Ultra Ball, getting rid of 1 Lampent. He's got the Dimension Valley down, so he only needs 1 basic energy to attack with the Joltik. Although most of the Night March decks in the UK at the moment are literally just playing for DCE and nothing else, to be perfectly honest with you. Here comes a Trainer's Mail to get himself a new trainer, and he's going to get a Super Scoop Up. How lovely. Presumably going to try and get that Shaman back. Now, as a side note here, if Nathan has got energy, then that Joltik will actually be doing 40 and be very close to the KO with 1 Night Marcher in the discard. Looks like that was a Tails there, unfortunately. Yes, it was. It was a free. Hey-ho, ladies and gentlemen, these things happen. So he's having a look there, Nathan, trying to figure out what indeed Toby is doing. By the way, can I just point out how awesome that little logo of the Mega Rayquaza going around Big Ben is? It's got a very British feel to it, as well as a very apocalyptic feel. Now he's dragging up the Shaman. Is he just trying to get... Oh, no, he's just trying to buy himself a turn. Now, these Night March decks really make their money on going off like, a house on fire, proverbially. We don't actually like houses being on fire. It's generally quite sad for all involved. And he's really not had a good start. And this really opens the door for Toby here. So we see an Ultra Ball coming down. He's got the Golbat. What Toby is going to want to do here is basically win the game with bats. Now, Focus Sash Lucarios can be very useful. You'll generally get 2 prizes per Lucario. By the way, he played, a level ball and an Ultra Ball at the same time. And he's just played both of them to kill the Joltik straight away. Now, that Shaman in the active can actually turn good for Toby here, because with a DCE, he can actually use Sky Return and do 30 to KO the Joltik on this turn, if he plays DCE, which is not what we expect to see from Fighting Bats decks. Oh, and straight away he plays a Lysandra and then pass. So Toby goes 1 prizes up, but both of them have gone the whole Lysandra stall route. So Nathan's got a Battle Compressor here, and he's going to drop Lampents. We've seen 1 in the discard. He's going to try and get rid of the other 2. One disadvantage Toby has got here is that if he's using the bats, they are weak to Joltik, and it is not going to take... it would take 4 in the discard to get the KO, and we've got 4 now with that Joltik. Also drops a Sycamore. Why would you discard a Sycamore? Because that way you can grab it back with a VS Seeker, which grabs a supporter out of your discard pile and puts it into your hand, and it allows you to use it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why you would go about using 1. So, and another pass. This is not a great start from either person here. So we see a Sky return there, doing 30 damage to the Shaman. That could be significant if, and we see another Battle Compressor coming down from Nathan, and it looks like he didn't get that fourth Lampent because it is in fact in his hand, which I think makes perfect sense. If Toby can hit two, it's going to be a lot to ask, but if Toby can hit two Crobats next turn, he can do 30 from the ability from each Crobat, and then an attack from the Crobat, which does 30, and that will actually do enough to KO that Shaman. So there is a possibility here that that Shaman goes down next turn and puts Toby just absolutely, completely in control of this game. Now he gets a Shaman down there. He's got a strong energy. Looks like he's got an Ultra Ball. And here he's going to want to get a Hawlucha. Oh no, he's going to want to get a Crobat to KO the Joltik. I can see that. Hawlucha here could win him the game. Because Hawlucha goes through... if at one energy, actually a Hawlucha... Oh, and he's got it. If he just goes Hawlucha here... No, just Hawlucha, assuming he plays Hawlucha. He's got a strong energy in hand. We saw it. Oh, and he's put an energy on the Crobat, it looks like. Crobat's got free retreat. Hawlucha strong energy here would do 80 damage and KO the Shaman and get him the win. He obviously thinks he's got a different way of winning. And this is weird. Now, I don't know he plays Hawlucha. I don't know for a fact he does. I know the fighting decks usually do. If he plays Hawlucha, he could have had the win there. All he needed to do was just free retreat the Crobat, and he's got a strong energy in hand, so all he needed to do was free retreat the Crobat, attach the Hawlucha, which he could have got with the, the Corinna, and he's won. Now, to be fair, he's still massively, massively in control, but see, look now, he's got a Lucario down. There is no... Sorry, I'm forgetting words today, ladies and gentlemen. I did tell you I'm not at this tournament because I'm not particularly well. Focus Sash, that's the one I'm looking for. He's got no Focus Sash on the Lucario. Lucario is weak to Pumpkaboo. There's a Shaman on the bench. Shaman is weak to Joltik. Now, admittedly, Toby has... he's down to, he's got two prizes and that Shaman has not got long to live. But if Nathan can pull up and kill that Golbat this turn, then there's no more bats coming from Toby in the near future. That Shaman seems moderately safe, and then Nathan is sitting there just taking prize after prize. And I believe there's at least 5 Night Marks in the discard, 2 Joltiks and 3 Lampents. So, and there we see a VS Seeker. Now we know he's got a Sycamore in there. We saw him pop it in there earlier in the game. So now comes down the Sycamore, and could this be the start of the comeback from Nathan? The honest answer is, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. Now there comes a Super Scoop Up. He drags it back up, and there we go with the Shaman. Now, I should also, and you can probably figure this out from what I said earlier, I literally realised round 7 was about to start and thought, hey, you know what would be fun? Live commentating round 7. So that's exactly what I'm doing. However, do bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that the fact that I'm commentating round 7 means I'm recording it off the internet as I watch it, so the picture quality isn't going to be quite as good as if, for instance, I was getting these files after the fact. I might even see if I can actually go about, uploading these as I'm commentating. We shall see. So Nathan here, he's digging through his deck. He's popped the Sycamore down. He can start saying all he needs is a Lampent or a Pumpkaboo, a DCE, and a way to get the Shaman out of the active. Then again, assuming he's playing... Now, I've been talking about this on my podcast, PTCGRadio, assuming that he is actually playing the standard Night March list, that means that he's going to be playing 4 DCE, maybe 1 Switch and 1 AZ, no Super Scoop Up. And that really hurts when something like this happens and you get the Shaman left in the active. So we've seen a couple missteps here from Toby. If he plays Hawlucha and they weren't all prized, he could have won last turn. He's gone... Oh, and it's... As I'm starting to talk about the Focus Sash again, it is entirely irrelevant. Toby has one game 1, and we're going to go straight to a very quick game 2. One thing I love, and I need to give a shout out to... I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming Terry Goodacre, if he's not streaming today, which I don't know if he is, it is at least his setup that he might have lent to somebody else. We've got the names of both the parties involved, and we've got, crucially, the timing there. That means that we can see that there are 40 minutes left in round 7. And that's really, really handy. Now, what that means is twofold. Firstly, it means Nathan scooped when he should. Nathan could have carried on for a few more turns, but presumably he identified that he wasn't going to win, and what he didn't want to do is let Toby win in another 5 minutes. If you lose game 1, you want to lose it as fast as you possibly can. And the reason for that is very, very simple, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 50 minutes best of 3, and the rules in Swiss best of 3 are that if a game does not conclude, i.e. one party takes all 6 prizes, that game is considered to have never happened. The game just didn't happen. So for that reason, it is vital that you complete games. And Nathan wants to complete 2 games here, so he needs to scoop as soon as possible. I would generally give Nathan the I would give him the edge in this match. Night March, and that is not a good starter from Toby. That Lucario is down on the field, and unless he can super scoop up or AZ it, which is something he should be looking to do, he is going to have to get a Focus Sash on there, or else Nathan is going to be giving up 2 prizes getting 2 prizes very, very quickly. And it looked like that Acrobite came down and got a DCE for Nathan there, which is really, really important, really, really useful for him here. Means he can get attacking nice and quickly. Now, as always, Nathan should not play that double colourless energy. There's an awful lot of cards like Zerosic and Enhanced Hammer, which can get rid of a DCE. Your opponent can use to get rid of a DCE. So Nathan's going to want to save it till next turn. Remember, no attacking on turn 1 of the game. But that's still, it's put Toby in a very, very good position here. A really good position. No, what am I talking about? A really bad position. I'm getting my words mixed up, ladies and gentlemen. That Pumpkaboo is going to be difficult to KO on turn 1. Sycamore gets rid of a whole bunch of cards, and Nathan is drawing. Now, Lucario, maybe he didn't have a DC then. I must have been seeing things, because he wouldn't have Sycamored the DCE, and I can't see it in the discard. Now, there is a Feebas, so it looks like Nathan is playing what has become the standard Night March list in the UK. You play a 1-1 Milotic line. Milotic allows you to draw take 1 card from your discard pile, pop it into your hand, so you use that to recover your double colourless energy, so make sure you got 6 DCEs to last out the game, although that is far from the only use for it. Now, Toby is going to want to try and get a KO this turn, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Ideally, he wants to try and KO the Feebas. Now, Lucario does 30 damage for 1 energy, but Pumpkaboo has got fighting resistance. So even a strong energy and a muscle band would only do 50 damage, because it would go 30 to 50 to 70 in resistance, put it back to 50, and there's nothing. Oh, that's horrible. Now, it looks like the Milotic has gone in a discard for Nathan. So, presumably, he must be playing some kind of Sacred Ash or similar card. Remember, Breakthrough is not legal in this tournament. Oh, and he's just had to pass. Nathan is not having luck. And that is a huge, huge break for Toby here. He gets the Muscle Band, which I really disagree with here. Put the Muscle Band on the Zubat. Zubat can take KOs with a Muscle Band on a Joltik or on a Feebas, or he can start taking down Pumpkaboos. He can do 50 damage when he becomes a Crobat. Now there's a Focus Ash on the Lucario, but you are leaving prizes sitting on the table. That's only going to do 50? Is that strong energy? If that's a basic energy, that should be doing 30, because Pumpkaboo has a fighting resistance. I'm 90% sure Pumpkaboo has a fighting resistance anyway. No, it definitely does, because I've played many fighting decks against it. Here comes a Zerosic to get rid of the strong... Oh, and it's another pass. So it's going to have no effect, because 32 turns in a row would KO the Pumpkaboo anyway. But I believe that's a mistake on the parts of the people. Oh, and that's actually a huge... Because that Crobat would not have KO'd that Pumpkaboo if it had 30 damage. Now, Lucario does 30 damage as standard, put it up to 50 with a Muscle Band, and back down to 30 with the resistance. It could be a strong energy, but I don't think it is. If that's not a strong energy, that was a big, big miss from both the players there, because Toby's got a huge advantage out of that. Now that looks like a second basic energy, and this will get the KO, because the second attack does 60 damage as a standard, and then allows you to draw up to 6 cards in your hand, and 60 plus 20 for the muscle band, minus 20 for the resistance, will do 60 damage and KO the Pumpkaboo. I don't know why he's doing the Golbat damage to the Pumpkaboo, though. Because he had the KO. Because it does 60 damage, plus 20 for the muscle band, minus 20 for the resistance. Now, if my maths is wrong, please let me know in the comments, but I think we've seen a couple of misplays there. The first Pumpkaboo shouldn't have been KO'd, but then he did superfluous damage on the second Golbat, and actually they cancelled each other out. Because had the damage been correctly calculated both times, then the 2 Crobat drops would have got the KO on the Pumpkaboo, and then he would have KO'd the second Pumpkaboo by doing 60. I'm an idiot, ladies and gentlemen. That is not, I do apologise, that's not a Lucario, that's a Machamp. I've not got the best view here. So, take back everything I just said. We have got, I apologise. Let's put it that way. So, with all of that now worked out, it is a Machamp. And that's interesting. We don't see many Machamps in these kind of games, but we've got one here now. So, yeah. My apologies for the mistake. It is a Machamp. And any of you that were sitting there screaming at the screen, you don't need to pop it in the comments. I've just noticed myself. So Nathan here is in a position where he's really, really on the clock. He's going to need something, and he's going to need it fast. The advantage he's got is that he can still play the Night March game. He gets rid of the fighting stadium there, which may help in trying to deny Shaman KOs. Now, the thing about Night March is that it trades on the prize trade. What that means is that he's going to be KOing... He's going to be KOing not EXs at the expense of non-EXs. It's not a Machamp, it is a Lucario. Man, I'm an idiot today. That does make a lot more sense. By the way, go and look at a picture of Machamp. It does look surprisingly similar to that Lucario when the light's shining like that. So what I said before absolutely, totally counts. That's not good. Let me just go and do some checking here, but I'm 90% sure we had some mistakes on the damage calculation. So, now that we're back, and we actually know what's going on, now we're going to be seeing whether Nathan can get a KO here. Now, remember that we've got... It's unfortunate that he's attacking with the... and Pumpkaboo does have a fighting resistance. That is absolutely correct. It is unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen, that he is attacking with a Joltik. And the reason is... Lucario's weak to Psychic, and Pumpkaboo is Psychic. So we really don't want the Joltik KO. Joltik's going to need 9 Pokemon in the discard here, and it looks like there might be 7, and that's not going to be enough. Now we see a Lampent going down. That looks like 8, but it could be 9. I can't quite see. So yeah, let's see where we get to. So... Oh, and the Milotic comes down here, which is useful. And what's he doing? I can't quite make it out. So he's got... Is he playing a Trainer's Mail there? Or is he looking for... No, he's looking through his discard pile. So, as I said, the damage calculation from before... And again, if I'm wrong, please do pop it in the comments. Always get a little bit nervous when I get stuff like that wrong. But, well, they cancelled each other out, so it's okay. But Lucario, like I said, he does 60 damage for his second attack and 30 for his first, but you've got to work in the fact that we've got a fighting resistance. Now, we did get a KO there from Nathan. He must have 9 in the discard pile. And now we get Baby Landorus. Baby Landorus, now he doesn't need a strong energy there. He can do it with a regular energy. But he, and as I said, I could have been strong before, but I don't think it was when the damage calculation things were going on. He's going to be able to do, well, it's actually 80 damage as it goes now, and get an energy on the Lucario. Now, if Nathan's got a Lysandra here, or a Lysander, pronounce it how you like, he is going to be massively in control here. There is no... Oh, there's a DC. Has he got the Lysander? Yes, he does. Well, presuming there's one in the discard pile, of course. There goes the VS Seeker. Here comes a Lysander, and he's got the Lucario. And that's what I was saying earlier in the game, ladies and gentlemen. You really need to shy away from them there, and if you do, they've got to have a Focus Sash on. Although I know that when Toby put down a Focus Sash earlier in the game, Nathan did manage to use a Xerosic to get rid of it. Point is, if you've got one on the bench with a Focus Sash, your opponent is not going to Xerosic and Lysandra in the same turn. Oh, and it looks like Nathan's playing a 2-2 Milotic line here, which would explain why he benched a Feebas after getting rid of a Milotic. And you've got to think Nathan is going to be winning this game. And I'm not a fan of that. Oh, unless he's just about to go and get a Focus Sash, in which case I'm willing to forgive him. Okay, this is bad. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. What Toby needs to do is KO a Shaman and something else, and that's how he wins the game. So a double Crobat drop here can KO the Feebas, and then the Hawlucha can get the KO. Now, if that's a basic energy, that's not a KO. Because he's doing 50, minus the resistance is 30, add the dropped 20, is 50, which isn't a KO. If it's a strong energy, I'm wrong. But if that is a basic fighting energy, which is what it looks like, it does 30 damage, plus 20 for the muscle band is 50, minus 20 for the resistance, unless you've got down the stadium, which gets rid of resistance, and we don't, we've got a Dimension Valley. So it looks like Nathan is getting royally screwed over here by that's 2 KOs in one game, where the KOs have gone, and they should have been 10 damage short. Because it doesn't, and again, if I'm wrong, let me know, but it doesn't look like they're taking account of the resistance here. Lucario does 30 damage with his first attack. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, you can call me an idiot now. Missile Jab is not affected by resistance. The second one, Corkscrew Smash, is, so I was still right about that one. But that was a KO. It did do 70 in total. This is what happens when you live commentate. You make silly mistakes. Let me rephrase. This is what happens when you live commentate when you're ill. Yeah. I'll put a little disclaimer in the description of this video saying, yes, I know Missile Jab goes through resistance. Please stop saying it. So you should have read that in the description. Here comes the Milotic, and what's he getting back? He's getting back... Oh, an attacker! That's kind of cool. So we end up, and this is another use for Milotic. You end up with all your attackers in the discard pile, and then you use the Milotic to get them back. But this is going to lose Toby the game. This is going to lose Toby the game. Because, oh, not yet it's not. Toby needs to kill that Pumpkaboo. Toby needs to kill that Pumpkaboo so fast it's not even funny. A double Crobat drop would do it. Or a Lysandra to bring it into the active, plus a Golbat drop, or a Crobat drop. Or a second energy plus a Lysandra to do Corkscrew Smash for 60. Any of those would be ways to do it. And there goes the VS Seeker. It's got to be a Lysandra here, assuming he's got one in the discard pile. It's a Xerosic. I mean, he must not have any Lysandra in the discard pile. If he doesn't kill that Pumpkaboo, he's going to lose next turn. Nathan presumably is just going to get the... Okay, now. Oh, now that's a clever play. That play I like. That is a beautiful play from Toby there. He uses Xerosic to get rid of his own muscle band to stick the Focus Sash down. That's just a thing of beauty. Now he can live for a turn. However, Xerosic DCE still gets the KO from Nathan here. Now, the other thing Toby's done is he set himself up for a mid-turn KO on the Milotic, and then he can just KO anything to get the win, which is really quite cool. And we know he's got a Lysandra in hand, so there is a chance of the Fighting Stadium, Muscle Band, Strong Energy, Lysandra Shaman and KO it with a Hawlucha. Now, Is Nathan able to get the Milotic out of the... It doesn't look like Nathan can get the Milotic out of the active. Now, this is the Primal Clash Milotic that's got a retreat cost of 2 and an HP of 110. Nathan needs it out the active. If Nathan can get it out the active, he needs to hit a Zerosic and a DCE, and he will win the game. If he doesn't, he's Oh! So if we see a double Crobat drop, that's game. Actually, he can drop 2 Crobats or a Crobat and a Golbat and win without attacking. Because there's a 30 HP Feebas on the bench. So he can drop a Crobat to... In fact, as long as he gets a Crobat here, he's won. Does he have any... If he's got any bats at all... Oh, it doesn't look like he's got any bats. Because all he needs to do is drop a Crobat here, and that would kill either the Milotic or the Feebas. And then, if he can KO the Feebas on the bench, he can KO the Milotic with the attack. Although if he can put a... No, not quite. Now, there comes the AZ. Here comes... Oh. No. He could have used that to KO the Milotic. Oh, no, is the Milotic on 80? Right, I missaw, sorry. The Milotic was on 80, so it had 30 HP left. That's all right. This has not been my best commentating game, but I'm ill. So, I've said that like 3 times. I'm going to keep saying it. I need some sympathy. However, what I've said about Toby being in command totally counts here. Even with a Zerosic... Oh, no! I forgot Nathan only had 2 prizes left. That's really what did it there, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I said about the prize trade on the thing of Night March. If you're KOing EXs, you have got the win. Unless your opponent really gets ahead. And you saw there, Toby got ahead, but he didn't get ahead by enough. And that's a big problem here. He ended up, he down to 1 prize. Had he got a Crobat that last turn, he could have KO'd the Feebas on the bench and got the win, but he didn't. He was 1 prize away from winning. But these are the things that happen, ladies and gentlemen, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. And Nathan, we've seen Nathan, now it's in round 7. He's on stream because he's been doing well. So we know Nathan hasn't been drawing dead all day, and he's had 2 pretty bad games instead of drawing. If Nathan gets half-decent draws this game, he wins. Toby's relying on Hawlucha that can't KO Nathan's attackers, and he's relying on Lucario that gets 1-hit KO'd for 2 prizes by Pumpkaboo, and sometimes even Joltik. Which means the only way Toby wins here is by a really fast start or by using bats. Except if Toby uses bats, he's manually evolving up to a stage 2 and Nathan's using a basic. And they're both kind of trading 1-hit KOs. And yes, I know Toby's dropping a bit of damage while he's evolving, but he would need, 2 Crobats and 2 Golbats, 2 Golbats, 2 Crobats every turn. And even then, he'd have to sacrifice a Hawlucha or 2 while getting set up. It's really difficult for Toby. Now, if he can sacrifice a couple Hawlucha while getting the bat set up, he drops the damage with Golbat, he drops the damage with Crobat, he attacks with Crobat Skill Dive, and then he's got a chance. But that really is what it's going to take. If Nathan gets set up and gets a half-decent start and streams attackers turn 1, as these Night March decks are supposed to do, he's going to win. Now here we see that Toby has started Zubat, not his ideal starter here. It's got 50 HP, it's easily killed by Nathan, and when it is killed, and we see the Shaman going down, and then he AZs and drops the Shaman, when it's killed, he loses the opportunity, like I say, for the Crobat and the Golbat. And that's, as I explained just before the start of Game 3, that's his route to winning. So, Acrobite comes down, and we see 1 Lampent in the discard. His aim is 6 here, or if he gets a Muscle Band, 5. Or even getting a Joltik in the active, because we know that Joltik hits for weakness. Joltik needs 3 in the discard pile, or 2 on a Muscle Band. Joltik is going to be running through that Shaman pretty gosh darned quickly. So, there comes a Shaman, Nathan draws a card, and Super Scoop Up. He's going for the Shaman. He gets the Super Scoop Up. He's going to have his Shaman back. Now, he's got the Feebas turn 1. That's going to be incredibly useful as we go through the game. He drops a Milotic, which would usually confuse me, but remember, we know he's playing a minimum of a 2-2 line, and he drops a Sycamore, but he's going to be looking at VS Secret later on, so not the end of the world. I haven't seen anything like a, and let me know in the comments if you did, but I haven't seen any kind of, Sacred Ash or way for Nathan to reuse his Pokemon here. So yeah. Now there goes the Feebas coming down there. There goes the Pumpkaboo. And Nathan here is just going to want to rock along quite nicely. There goes the Shaman. He's drawing a few cards as we go here. And now, it doesn't look like he's still just stuck on that one Lampent, so not even threatening to KO on a Zubat right now. Now, we see he's got the Joltik, and I believe he hasn't played a supporter yet, if I remember correctly. Remember, he got rid of a Sycamore using an Ultra Ball. So, if Nathan here, and there goes a DCE onto the Pumpkaboo, so... But remember, those DCEs are limited for Nathan, so and he's already used 2 Super Scoop Ups. He's gotten rid of 1 Milotic. He could, and we know he plays AZ as well, but he could be in mind here to be, oh, and is that a second Milotic? Looks like it is. And there's a DCE in the discard pile. That seems strange. Now, I could be wrong here, but it looks like he's got rid of 2 Milotics. He's already used 2 Super Scoop Ups, so... Now, he's got 2 in the discard, and now he's playing the Battle Compressor. But I wonder what Nathan... I don't have Nathan's list. So it'd be interesting to see. What's he playing in terms of Pokemon recovery, in terms of... in terms of Milotic, in terms of Super Scoop Ups, because having dropped 2 DCEs before he's taken a prize, he could be running short of resources later on in the game. Now, remember, he's also looking to take 2 prizes turn 1. Now, I don't know how many he's got here. Now, we see a Lysandra coming down from the Battle Compressor. Does that mean he's already dropped 6? I can't imagine he would drop Lysandra. There we go, and that makes sense. Now we see the Ultra Ball getting rid of 2 more, and there's a Feebas. So we know we've got 2 Feebas. Now, the problem with Feebas is Feebas has 30 HP. So if Nathan is only playing 2 Milotic, and they are both in the discard, as it appears they may be, we are potentially... Oh, and it looks like there is a Sacred... Oh no, is it an Acrobike? He's going to want some kind of Sacred Ash or something going on later. And there is another Battle Compressor. Might I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is Nathan's first turn of the game. There goes a Hex Maniac, so we can try streaming that later on in the game. Of course, against remember, Hex Maniac is the it's a supporter that blocks abilities from when it's played until the end of your opponent's next turn. Gets rid of a couple Battle Compressors as well, because he doesn't need them anymore. So... against a bat deck, he can use that to try and make sure that no bats are being played. Remember that, now Toby has had his first turn, so he can drop a Golbat next turn, but he can't drop enough bats to actually kill anything. Although, as we've seen, Golbat combined with Lucario can be quite potent KOing the Pumpkaboo, because it does go through resistance. Wink. Now, we know Nathan's got the KO. We know he's going 2 prizes up. The aim for Nathan now is to set himself up for future turns. He wants to make sure he can use that Milotic. Now, we know he's got a second Pumpkaboo down. But Toby, Toby's way to winning here is to try and make Nathan KO a whole bunch of non-EXs. And that means that he is... and there goes Dimension Valley. So... Nathan could run short of attackers and DCEs if he can't be streaming his Milotics. Now, remember that Toby also usually, at least most... 2 strong energy and 1 fighting energy is not a good way to start the game. We also know, like I say, that... Well, we presume that Toby is probably playing a couple of Enhanced Hammer. These decks tend to. Now, he hits for 50 because he does go through resistance, and he's got the strong energy there. But... brilliant. We know that as long as Nathan's got a DCE, and he does, well, now Nathan's going up 4 prizes. I don't think that KO was worth it. Now, to be fair to Toby, he didn't really have much else to do. And to be fair to Toby, Nathan probably had a Lysandra that he could have used this turn anyway. Oh, he looks like he's just dropped the teammates, which allows you to search for any 2 cards, and he has. He's just dropped the teammates after that KO. That KO has not done Toby any real favours. It's got him 1 prize. It's allowed Nathan to use teammates, and I wouldn't be surprised if he grabbed the rest of his DCEs there, and obviously ways to get attackers back, because he's going to need an attacker for next turn. But Nathan... Oh, and he's got a Pumpkaboo in hand. So Nathan is sitting pretty here. We presume he probably... I don't know why he didn't bench the Pumpkaboo there. Because he's going to need to retreat if something gets KO'd. Maybe he's got a switch in hand, so it doesn't matter. But if that Pumpkaboo gets KO'd, Nathan's going to have to go about retreating whatever he puts up active in order to get the Pumpkaboo in the active. So we know he's got a Pumpkaboo. Now, if Toby drops another EX, we can call this game. I'm ready to call the game if he drops another EX. Because at some point, Nathan's going to Lysandra into the active. And when he does, that's going to give him the win. And there's a Lucario. And I've got a lot of sympathy for Toby at this point. Because what's he going to do? Now, what he needs to do here is drop the Crobat. And put an energy on the Crobat. And then he can KO the Pumpkaboo. He'll do... I suppose he gets a KO, but all it's going to need is a Zerosic here, and he's got the win. We know he's got the DCE. He used the teammates last turn. So if he doesn't have it, and he's already put it to the top, he probably got a VS Seeker from the teammates as well, because why wouldn't you? You know, it's your way to win the game. And we have a switch. He must have done, otherwise he would have benched the Pumpkaboo last turn. And that's the game, ladies and gentlemen. We would expect Nathan to win the game there. So, unfortunately, in Game 1, we saw Toby do it quite well. In Game 2, he just fell just a tiny bit short. Come Game 3, he started playing Nathan's game. He started going fully X, and that wasn't the way to do it. So, I'm going to try and get a couple more rounds up today. From today. So I'm going to see if I can get this online before top 8 starts. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you don't mind that I'm just dropping a week 3 regional game in when I've been putting in week 1 regional games, but it's happening today and I thought you might want to see it. Apologies for the mistake with Lucario's first attack in game 1. Did I mention I'm ill? But like I say, I've realised that you don't need to berate me in the comments. Although if you want to just drop a little "you suck, ha 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 ha," please feel free. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Look after yourselves till the next round, which hopefully will be soon. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.